First, as a former Air Force officer myself, and somebody who has done some level of flying training, first, I have to sympathize with the Nigerian Air Force and the families of the people that might, we don't know. There's no certainty whether people died or not. But in any case, I sympathize with the Nigerian Air Force. And this incident, once more reminds us of the risks and the dangers that our troops, whether in the air or on the ground, are always taking to keep Nigeria safe. Having said that, whenever there is operational tempo, and certainly what I mean by operational tempo, that is the level or number of sorties or the number of operations that have been done, they have risen since this new service chiefs came. Concurrently with that, we are now in the middle of a rainy season where visibility is low, cloud is very low. I was in Lagos day before yesterday. Anybody who was in Lagos airport for a flight to Abuja, back to Abuja here, I stayed for over 6 hours because all the flights were being cancelled. There are some aircraft that came to Abuja. In fact, there was an Arik, I think, that came to Abuja and had to go back, couldn't land. So the point I am making, when operations are getting more, when the weather is low, also concurrently the chances of having accidents increases.
With some aircraft? With
some aircraft. Now, while a commercial pilot can decide the weather is bad, I cannot go. Unfortunately, that is not the comfort that a military aircraft, they received, a distress call, they have to respond. That's why pilots are trained to operate even when it is 0-0 visibility. What do you mean 0-0? It means you put your hand there in front, you cannot see it because of the, but you have to respond. So it is not really out of the blues if given the weather conditions, and the situation of responding.
If we use Tucano, if we use the Tucano aircraft that
there's no aircraft that is not affected by weather.
No, I mean in terms of the visibility and the efficiency.
Exactly.
Some are way more advanced than the others. I mean, you know better.
Exactly. But then there is no aircraft. In fact, weather is one of the elements that an aircraft cannot do without. Of course, having a level of equipment on aircraft can reduce the load on the pilot where he'll be able to navigate. But again, you bring it to Kano. What I want people to understand again, every kind of operation has the kind of aircraft that you need. The kind of operation they had in Niger State is not the kind of operation that they will like to. Remember, they said casualty evacuation. The M117, you can Google it, it's a troop carrying and casualty evacuation, aircraft. They went to carry these people. Now, with the weather going, I am speculating because investigation is going on, but I'll give you a practical example, even in commercial flight, these last 2 days, whenever there is weather, whenever there is, a heightened operation, the chances of an air crash happening are increased. But that is not to say we should accept crashes as automatically that they must happen. But I am telling you, over the world, in fact, most air crashes, you will hear either weather, pilot error, or machine error. So to me, this weather is really very challenging for any pilot, whatever kind of aircraft that is going. Well, so it is not out of position, but at the same time, I have read many, since this incident happened, in fact, the first thing is that bandits have shot an aircraft. Again, that is another problem. To the best of my knowledge, and like I always say, me, even though I'm a retired military officer, when I do my security analysis, I don't wholly 100% rely on what I hear from the military for obvious reasons. I will listen to them, and then I will do my own, extrapolation to find where it is. I do not think bandits have the capacity to shoot down aircraft. So that one is even a no-brainer.
Did you also, maybe you might have come across that as well, the narratives of persons who gave accounts of what happened to the unfortunate, the 21 military officers who were attacked by bandits. They said that there was face-to-face combat, firepower was much more than those on the casualty side. They had casualty on both sides anyways. But you heard of that account about involving our military as well, did you?
Yes, there are several accounts that are flying about this, and I'm studying. This happened yesterday. I'm still studying them. I heard of an ambush. I have heard of first confrontation. But whatever happens, yes, there were casualties on both sides. Soldiers were lost, and an aircraft that went to provide casualty evacuation. Somehow, the aircraft crashed. But I'm ruling outright. I do not think bandits have the firepower to shoot down an aircraft. But in this kind of treacherous weather, like I said, I've given an example. Anybody who has been flying these days has experience from this. But then the pilot of a military aircraft cannot say, I'm waiting for weather to clear.
No, I'm not talking about the aircraft now. Yes. I'm talking about the face-to-face combat.
Yes,
with those officers who were involved in the bandits.
Unfortunately.
So when those kind of things happen, how do the military usually approach it? If you have this scenario when they tell you, well, weapons were superior to certain other ones, how did you approach this kind of scenario?
Well, unless somebody is on the ground, we do not know. So it is not only weapons that determine the outcome of a war. Numbers could determine the outcome of a war. The circumstances, I read somewhere ambush, I am not sure. When you say ambush, it means you walk unsuspectingly into a well-prepared person who was waiting for you. The person that is bringing the ambush will always have advantage because he is waiting for you and you come in. So all these issues, who is dug in, who is working on exposed terrain, all these things could determine who has the upper hand in terms of number of people lost, either on the bandit side or on the district. When an ambush is sprung on you, I mean, it takes some seconds before you can really actualize yourself and take a response. Within those seconds, you could lose some people. There's nothing, there's nothing surprising about that. However, you see, again, we should not look at such operations as a game of chess. That is, we take 2 pawns, I take 2 pawns. We always want our troops to have the upper hand. So even if it is one soldier that we lost, it is very important. But then again, everything is in context. As a matter of the work I do, personally as a private security consultant, I keep daily filings of reports of incidents, who was lost. But what I want people to understand, whenever we're given figures like between February and January, so people died. For the security man, he is counting all numbers, both the bad guys and the good guys. Hardly do you have time to separate how many troops were killed, how many soldiers were killed. That is one thing. And for the military man, unfortunately, there's this saying that when a dog bites a man, it's no news. The truth is that when a soldier, even one soldier is killed, it makes more news than when you kill 5 bandits. That is the actual truth, because we expect always soldiers to kill bandits rather on the other way around. But the reality on the ground is that you could have a bad day, you could have a good day, you could have reversals. So all this has happened. But what I'm saying is that, in any case, what shows that, because again, I must emphasize that the bandits have been employing ambushes.
Guerrilla tactics?
Ambushes. What does it mean? It means our troops must understand and take, force protection measures. There are anti-ambush drills. You have to really recce the area. There are too many stories of ambush. Not only military, even police. I think a couple of years ago, police around Katsina were ambushed. Ambushes, you have to really prepare for ambushes because these people are very treacherous. And to be honest with you, ambush is a very difficult situation to extricate yourself from. Because a person who knows how to ambush, even the area where he's going to spring an ambush is going to be a dead end. Either a ravine as you are coming down the slope. You can imagine if you are coming down the slope and then you are sprung an ambush, how do you climb back? They pick an area where you are put in the killing ground. So ambushes are very treacherous. And I think our troops should try to, put some anti-ambush drills so that before because if they say, sometimes it can be, even with fake information, there are bandits here. Yes, there are bandits there, but they are prepared. If you come just walking nonchalantly, you might walk into a killing ground. And then when they open fire for you, because as you are marching, you do not know that you have reached the point of the operation. So maybe with your rifle slung, not ready, and then suddenly, firing from both sides. It's very deadly.